Hello guys, I am here to announce that I'm changing my stance on Solana from not so great to I like it. I'm pro Solana now, and I will explain why. There's still a lot of reservations I have about the project, but I generally like the way the project is going and where it's actually heading and what they've done recently with like the expansion of the ecosystem. Now, let's address the reservations first. The main reservation obviously is a lot of downtime. It went down 7, 8 times, probably even more during the last bull run. And it needs to prove to me that once again, it can stay up the entire bull run, because one of the most important factors of a blockchain is the fact that it can actually stay up. Uptime is very important. If you don't have that, the rest of it may not matter all that much. But it hasn't gone down in about a year. I know that's not much to celebrate for most blockchains, but it is a milestone for Solana right now. But if it can, and the thing is, I think they might have actually fixed the issue. Most of the time they went down because of a denial of service attack, and they do actually have a network fee at this point, so it'll be very hard to actually do a denial of service attack on Solana. So I think that's mainly solved. The other part, of course, it's is the VC funding, but a lot of projects are VC funded. And yeah, Solana might be more centralized in terms of token distribution, but I think that the locks actually tier that out over time, and the price really hasn't gone down. So I think that worry is actually going off. Like the whole FTX thing, I don't think I'm too worried about that at this point, because that is locked and there's tier cash outs at certain times. Not exactly sure how they'll actually work out, but I'm not really afraid of Solana whales dumping, more so than I'm afraid of any other whales dumping. So that alleviates a lot of those worries. Of course, the uptime thing, like I said, is the most important thing, and they'll have to prove it in the next bull run. So why do I like Solana now? I really like some of the things they've been doing, from their expansion of their ecosystem to getting USDC on their chain to, they actually work pretty fast. And also, more than they actually work pretty fast, the meme coin stuff I even like as well, because meme coins do play an important role in getting people on your chain. Now, the thing is, some of you are really meme coins, but you got to think about it this way. They play an important role to get people on Solana, but not only to get people on Solana, but to get people off Ethereum. You have to realize that the reason that most people are in crypto is to actually make money. A lot of people are looking for ROI more than anything else, and you kind of have to play to that if you want a big ecosystem. When they see meme coins going up, they want to buy those meme coins. And I've said this before in videos, if they want to buy Bonk or whatever other meme coin there is, they have to get it via Solana DEX, at least at first. If you want to get in early, you got to do the DEX. You can't wait until the CEX listing, because if you wait until the CEX listing, you're going to miss out. So, they're going to, even if they're Ethereum users, they'll go over to Solana and use the Solana DEX. If they're just casuals and they're just picking up crypto, they'll see this coin, they'll go over to the Solana DEX. So that serves a dual purpose in grabbing Ethereum users over and also grabbing new users. And Solana's DEXs actually work very, very quickly, and they have very low fees. So for the new users, you're getting them to an efficient DEX system, and they won't want to go back to Ethereum. The same thing with Ethereum users. They're going to be used to 15-minute transactions with $15 fees. Once they use your 3-second transactions and discover that the fees are 1/10 of a cent, they're not going to want to go back to Ethereum either. So that, the meme coins on Solana are a great way for them to actually steal people from the Ethereum ecosystem and also grab new people and make them not want to go to an inefficient ecosystem. And I think this could benefit other coins as well, not just Solana, because once people get a taste of an efficient system, they're not going to want to go back to using an inefficient system. And even if they get off Solana, they'll probably be looking for, stuff like Near, Injective, Cardano, DEXs that actually work fairly quick with very low fees, at least with very low fees. And you don't have to wait, 10, 15 days, 10, 15 minutes, and maybe hours or days if it actually clogs up. So you're going to have to work, you're going to be able to get some of the users from the other ecosystems to Solana, especially Ethereum, and that's where all the users are. So I really like that part of their thing. They've also done really well with the phone. I'm not exactly going to go buy the phone, but including the airdrops on their phone was a great idea because it actually sold out. And if they include airdrops on their next phone, it's mostly going to sell out too. And you know, the thing is, like, the phones are a couple $100. So if someone's stuck with like a Saga phone or whatever, and they're using it, they'll probably stay in the Solana ecosystem longer. All this is building a big ecosystem full of like long-term Solana users that will actually leverage the ecosystem. And that's what you really want for price growth. And Solana, unlike the other coins, isn't really going for massive industrial adoption. They're solely going for ecosystem growth. And that's what's going to provide value to us coin investors. Yeah, I know some people will like to, you know, like flex like, oh, my coin has partnerships with such and such. When does that ever really matter for price? You know, like, your flexing isn't going to make you any money. And like, the partnerships aren't going to make you any money, because the partnerships, a lot of times, they're good for the foundation, because as long as like the foundation sells their software, they can actually make money. The foundation or the company sells their software, they can actually make money. But for you, the coin investor, it actually doesn't do much. But when people actually lock up money in your ecosystem, that makes your coin a lot more scarce, and that makes your investment go up. So while a lot of the other projects are actually working to make their founders rich, Solana's system of actually attracting people to the ecosystem and locking up value in their ecosystem actually can make you rich. That's why their coin's actually going up so much. Like, and the thing is, like, their fast speed and their liquidity. And that's one thing wrong with Cardano. They don't have USDC yet. Solana has lots of USDC. So I think that's one of the reasons their system's actually grown faster than Cardano. And until Cardano gets a highly liquid fiat currency, Solana is going to continue to outgrow Cardano. Now, once Cardano gets USDC, it might actually do better. And yes, like, Solana overall is more centralized. In terms of like centralization of distribution, it is more centralized because of the VC stuff. But like I said, I'm not actually too worried about that. In terms of the validators, it's also more centralized, because even though they have a lot of validators, about like 90% of them are actually funded by the Solana Foundation. So the Solana Foundation has lots and lots of influence over the network. Not nearly as much, like Charles and co don't have nearly as much influence. As you can see, like, I think the network validators are going to vote for the USDC thing, even though Charles is very, very heavily against it. So they're not actually listening to Charles this time. So the thing is, like, it is centralized. They have plans to slowly decentralize it in terms of funding, but that's yet to be seen. We can't be sure that's actually going to happen. We just think that's going to happen. So like I said, like, the decentralization, the VC funding, and also like the downtimes, that's something that they're actually going to have to prove to work out. But I think the pros at this point outweigh the cons, specifically if you measure its importance. And like, you know, some people are saying you shouldn't look at price in the short term, but you know, Solana's been around for a couple of years now, and the price action has actually been really good. Even if you just count the last couple of years, we're like less than halfway to our all-time high, but as a percentage of our ATH, it's actually doing better than most coins out there. And I do believe it still has a lot of potential for growth, because these meme coin users that you've actually either attract over from Ethereum or have just picked up off the street basically are going to stick with the ecosystem at least through this bull run. So this bull run, it could actually make you quite a lot of money. And I think people will gain more and more trust over SOL as long as they can not go down, which I do actually believe ever since they actually have a fee on their network now. They've had it for a while. I think like ever since like the last time they got DDoS attacked, it's not vulnerable to the same kind of attacks that it actually was. So you basically have, I think, a very fast network that's not really decentralized, but I don't think that actually matters for a lot of investors in the system, because most investors are just in it for money. And that actually has a lot of apps and a big ecosystem right now, with plenty of liquidity flowing in from USDC. And there's been a couple of projects that have actually moved to Solana for the speed. Now, Chingari actually did move away because Solana actually had a lot of downtime, but I think they can attract some of those projects back. Like, you know, we know like Helium actually moved to Solana for their speed. So the thing is, like, I think Solana can come out as a very viable alternative to Ethereum in the future. And especially, you know, like if some of those high value meme coins and their eye-popping ROIs start attracting people from the Ethereum ecosystem, it actually has a very, very good chance of maintaining those people within the Solana ecosystem, because once you actually use something good, you don't want to go back to something that's bad. Once you use something with like low transaction fees that's fast, you don't want to go back to something with like high transaction fees that's slow. So I think Solana has like everything built in to not only gain users for its own ecosystem, but also to leech users from Ethereum's ecosystem to Solana because of its more efficient blockchain. And as long as it doesn't go down, I think it can attract a whole lot of users, and it can easily pass its all-time high. So right now, like, things in Solana are actually going in the right direction. It still has some things to prove, but outside of that, I think there's more pros and cons to Solana at this point. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you, and have a nice day.